Hey everybody, we're still having these cold temperatures and banana pudding with a meringue is calling my name today. So that's what we're going to be making. So let me just gather everything up. It's easy, it's simple, it's quick, it's delicious. So we'll get started and we'll enjoy a banana pudding together. Today I'm using my double boiler to make our banana pudding, and I have filled the bottom boiler about half full of water, and I'm going to place the top boiler on top to mix it up. Now, a lot of times I go ahead and place my bottom boiler on the stove and start getting the water hot, but I wanted to just show you exactly how this is done. So we'll start by mixing our dry ingredients. I'm using 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. You can use more if you want to. You can use less if you want to, or you can substitute with your sweeteners. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of plain flour. That's all-purpose flour. So I'm just going to mix my dry ingredients together, and while I'm mixing the flour and the sugar, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I like to make 1 small banana pudding at the time. If I need 2, I can just whip up 2. Or if you are feel comfortable and want to, you can just double the recipe. You'll need to use a larger boiler. If you don't have a double boiler, then it's okay. You can just go ahead and use your boiler right on your stove top. So I'm going to set this aside for just a second. And now I'm going to mix or whisk together 3 egg yolks and 2 cups of milk. I have a pint of milk here. This is 2 cups. And I know that a pint is 2 cups, so I'm just pouring it all in there together and whisking my eggs with my milk before we add it to our dry ingredients. Now, let's just mix it with our dry ingredients. So I'm just pouring the milk and the egg into the double boiler, into the top double boiler. So now I'm going to take it over to my stove. I will stay with it. I'll stir it constantly, and I'm going to cook it until it reaches a custard consistency. And then once we do that and it becomes custard-like, we'll begin to put our banana pudding together. Once we get it put together, I'll show you how to make the meringue that goes on top. Okay, we're almost there. Our mixture is thickening. It's not quite ready. I'm going to let it cook 2 or 3 more minutes, but hopefully you can see that it's beginning to look like custard and handle like custard. And I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of vanilla. And you know I love Miss Merck's clear vanilla, so that's what I'm going to be adding to this custard mixture that we're going to use to make our banana pudding. I love the smell. So I'm going to let this continue cooking here on this double boiler. I am cooking it on 3, which is a medium low, and I'm just going to let it cook a few more minutes and get a little bit thicker. Okay, we're moving right along. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 375 degrees. And I have 3 egg whites here. Remember, I used 3 egg yolks in the mixture, in the custard. So now I'm going to use the egg whites, and I'm going to beat these to a stiff peak. But first of all, I'm going to beat them to about a half peak, or just kind of get them started about halfway. And at that point, I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm going to add some cream of tartar. So let me get these to that point, and I'll be right back. Okay, our egg whites are about halfway there, and so now I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of sugar, and I'm just going to continue beating. Just adding the sugar a little at the time. And now let me stop it, stop the mixer, and I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Now let's talk about this for a minute. A lot of people don't add cream of tartar to their meringue, but it helps to give it body, and it also helps to keep it from weeping. I know those of you who make meringue, sometimes it'll get sugary and kind of wet on top, and the cream of tartar is supposed to help it to keep from doing that. So now I'm just going to continue beating this to a stiff peak. Okay, our egg whites are ready, and I'm going to set them aside, but I wanted to give you a couple of tips about the egg whites. Make sure that the bowl is completely dry. Make sure that your egg whites are at room temperature. Make sure that there is not even a speck of yolk in the egg white, and make sure that there is no water or grease in the egg white. It will not stiffen and hold up if you have any of those things in the egg whites. So now today I'm using an 8x8 baking dish. I think this will be the perfect size, and I'm using Nilla wafers. You can use any brand that you want to. So I have just lined the bottom of my baking dish with Nilla wafers. Now let's talk about the bananas for just a minute. You want to use bananas that are bright yellow. If they are too green, they are not going to be sweet. If they are too brown, they're going to get really watery on you. So I'm just going to peel the bananas as I go. You can peel them ahead of time. Sometimes they'll turn brown if you peel them too far ahead of time. So this one looks good. There's a little place right there that I need to take off, and I'm just going to slice the bananas about maybe 1/4 of an inch thick. And bananas is what makes it really good. Well, all of the ingredients and all of the parts make it delicious, but the more bananas you have in it, the better tasting your banana pudding is going to be. Now, you can make this a day ahead of time, and all of these flavors will blend together, and you'll have even a better flavor. So I'm just going to real quickly, I'll be using several bananas in this, but I want to show you exactly how I put it together. So I've used 2. I'm going to go ahead and use 3. I'm going to go ahead and use 3 bananas. These are small bananas. If you had larger bananas, you might get by with 2 as you layer your banana pudding, or you might use 1.5, whatever you feel like you need. But we do like a lot of bananas in our banana pudding. You also want to do this while your custard is hot. So now I have the Nilla wafers, I have the bananas, and we're ready to pour our custard on top. I'm going to pour about half of the custard over the bananas. And I believe that's probably about half. So just going to do it just like that. Put a little bit on that one right there. Now I'm going to repeat just as I did on the bottom layer. I'm just going to repeat, and you can take your time and place these strategically if you want to. I just kind of dump mine in there for the sake of time, and it really isn't going to matter how they're placed. You just place them in there, and what we'll do
we'll take 3 more bananas. I'll slice these bananas and I'll put them over the vanilla wafers, and then I'll put the remaining of the custard, and then I'll come back and we'll top it with our meringue. We have added our second layer of vanilla wafers, bananas, and pudding mixture. So now we're ready to add our meringue. And I beat this to a stiff peak. Remember, I added 6 tablespoons of sugar. You can add less if you want to. You can add more if you want to, although I don't think you need more. So I'm just raking this out, putting it all on there. And we're going to spread it out. And I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees. And we are on a roll getting this banana pudding ready to go in the oven and ready to serve. So now I'm just going to take this little spoon that I have here, and I'm going to just spread it around to the edges, just like that. And you can make it as pretty and fancy as you want to, or you can just spread it out evenly. Bottom line, it's going to be so delicious. Banana pudding is just an all-time favorite. I'm just telling you. I'm just going to take my spoon just like that and make some little peaks. Look at that. That's just one way you can do it, or however you want to do it. But it's just an all-time favorite, probably around the world, but for sure everywhere in the United States, and especially in the South. It's just a favorite. So now we're ready to go in the oven on 375 degrees for about 7 or 8 minutes. Okay, those of you who are still with me, tell me what you think. I think it's successful. It looks beautiful to me. Now, a lot of people like to brown theirs where all of the egg white is brown, but I like to just kind of brown the peaks and around the edges. But you can do it either way that you want to. Okay, friends, there you have it. And I have decorated my banana pudding. I put some vanilla wafers around the edges, and if you want to do that, you would just do it before you serve. Otherwise, when you put it in the refrigerator, those vanilla wafers are going to get kind of soggy. But you don't have to do that. You can just serve it plain without that, but it does help to make it pretty if you're trying to set up a beautiful table, a dessert bar. Then you might want to add some other things to enhance the beauty of it. But nothing will change that delicious taste that it has. It's so good. Okay, y'all, just like that, we have banana pudding made. I know you always say in the comments, some of you do, Joyce, you make it look so simple. Well, I responded to one of Doug's cousins who had commented, and she said the same thing. And I said, well, when you've done it as long as I have, it's just kind of second nature. So anyway, we're going to taste this banana pudding. I told you that we would, and it's just going to be delicious. I know it is. When Doug dips, he dips a lot of the meringue. He kind of gets some off of the next serving or the other person's serving. But I like meringue too. I need to just make him making a meringue and put it in the oven and put it in front of him and let him eat it. So let's taste this banana pudding. Y'all look at that. It's just going to be so good. I know it is. Yep, it's a winner. If I did make it myself. I say that a lot, don't I? I hope you'll try this recipe. It's really easy. It'll warm your bones too. It's sweet and it's delicious. I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again really soon.